How to Improve Your Personality by Ernest Holmes. Did you ever ask yourself, who am I? Or have you looked at yourself in a mirror and said, who are you? If so, you have asked one of the big questions of life. For life can have a meaning to us only in relationship to this thing that we call ourselves. Let's examine ourselves then and see what we really are made of. We shall soon enough discover that there is more to us than a rag and a bone and a hank of hair. For just as you stand before a mirror looking at yourself, something else about you seems to stand apart from your physical body. For instance, you can count your toes and fingers, you can hear your heart beat or feel pain in your body, and still know that you are more than this. For without denying your physical body or its aches and pains, you soon discover that there is something about yourself that in a very definite sense seems to be separate from what you are doing. Your fingers do not really manipulate themselves. Your feet do not really walk of themselves. Because if they could, then you could cut them off and they would keep right on walking. When you say then, who or what am I? You know at once that there is more to yourself than there seems to be. You know that to your physical body and to your environment, you must add something else. And let's call it consciousness, or the ability to know that you are you. Consciousness, or this ability to know, is the most important thing in your life. And you did not create your consciousness. It came with you when you entered this world. Consciousness, or that thing which you really are, is the gift of life. It is God's beloved Son in you. But you may ask, what has all this got to do with my personality? You may say, what I want is a dynamic personality. I want to be somebody. I want lovableness and charm, and I want to be creative. Well, of course you do. It wouldn't be natural for you to feel any other way. But what is this thing that you call myself? And this thing that your friends call you? The person that you really are. This thing that makes you different from all others, and that endears you to other people. Walt Whitman said, there is more to a man than is contained between his head and his bootstraps. And Jesus the beautiful and wise said, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. It is this hidden source of your being that you are looking for, this high gift of heaven, this thing in you that can mold and make your personality. This is your treasure of life. This is the source of your inspiration. There are hidden powers, undeveloped resources, unimaginable depths to your being, which you can penetrate and bring to the surface and make your personality anything that you wish it to be. But first, you must come to know what you really are and who you really are. For you are God's good man, and you alone can decide whether or not your personality shall be happy and whole and dynamic and creative, attractive or repulsive. You alone hold the golden key to the larger life, and you hold it in your hand right now. But you cannot use this key until you first connect yourself up with that something bigger than you are. This doesn't mean that you are going to get lost or become submerged in a dream or a fantasy. It really means that you are going to learn to live and think and act from the feeling that there is a limitless power back of everything you do, a power for good that you can use. Somewhere in you is the same imagination that wrote every book that was ever written, the same inventive genius that invented everything that makes modern life comfortable, the great artist who painted all the pictures, and the one who wrote all the songs. But you may ask, How am I going to bring all this out? How am I going to get it to the surface? How am I going to become that wonderful, dynamic personality which everyone would like to be? Well, perhaps the best way to begin is not to try to be so wonderful or so dynamic. Don't strain. Don't wear a mask. Don't try to be anyone but just yourself. All imitation is suicide. You are you, and you are real. And the coming to know the real you is not so much something you develop or create or compel, as it is something that you discover within yourself. For this real you is already there. You didn't even create it. Your first step then is as simple as this. Hook your personality, your physical body, your environment, and everything you do, say, and think up with that thing that you really are, an individual living in pure spirit, here and now.